hoppers, and welcome to MuchoHop. I'm at Frankfurt Airport. Tomorrow I'm going to Spain, and you have to do a million things now if you want to travel. Rules are always changing because the more we know about the virus, the more we know how it works, and we know what precautions we have to take. So there are lots of steps you have to take before you fly, and I'm going to talk about that today. Look what I have over here. So the rules have changed again, and that's what I'm going to go over today. So when you're traveling in times of Corona, you have to really prepare for it. It's not just buy a ticket, get on the plane, and that's it. No, you have to consider a few things. The first thing you have to do is, yes, buy a ticket to see if they're available, because not all flights are available right now. Not all airlines are offering flights. When I flew in September, Iberia wasn't flying from Frankfurt to Madrid, whereas right now in almost December, they are. You also have to consider the dates, because when I return to Germany, I will have to be in quarantine for 5 days. So I have to take into account that, for example, it's Christmas time, I want to see my relatives, and I will have to be in quarantine before Christmas. So you have to calculate the dates, all right? So I can't come back on the 23rd, let's say, because I won't have those 5 days before Christmas. The next thing I had to do was purchase a COVID test. So again, I went to Centogene. You have to register in their website, and then you have to purchase a test. When you register for the COVID test in Centogene, you get 2 QR codes. I printed those out, so I have them on paper and I have them in my phone, and you have to present them when you go to the test center. The test center is in this walkway here between the long distance train station and Terminal 1. The new rule is that anybody who's traveling to Spain from a high-risk country, in this case practically all of Europe, you have to have a negative COVID test before you board, 72 hours before you board. The next thing was to get a hotel room. I wanted to be here the day before so I could take the test. I stay here, I sleep here, and then I have a flight the next morning. It's just more convenient for me. So we have an early flight tomorrow. We'd like to stay in a hotel the night before, and as we walked in, the room was sealed, saying that it was sanitized. In the bathroom, you could see that they have alcohol wipes. The remote control is covered. I probably will disinfect it anyway, but still, you know, just don't touch too many things. When you fly into Spain, you have to fill out a health questionnaire. I spoke about this before. Have you had a fever? Your name, your details. You have to do that at least 48 hours before your flight. The app will generate a QR code, and you have to show that QR code when you arrive to Spain. In my case, it will be Madrid. So I printed out this QR code. So I have it on paper, and I also have it on my phone. Another thing we did was fill up the refrigerator. Yes, in Germany, because when we come back, we have to be in quarantine for 5 days. So we have enough food in the freezer and the refrigerator, things that last for like 2 weeks. We will have enough food when we get back. So you really have to plan these things, you know, ahead of time. The next thing is to take the COVID test. I'm on my way to get tested for the COVID PCR test. Centogene is there. Red Cross is here. I just took the test. You have the option of getting the results in 6 hours or in 12 hours. So hopefully tomorrow I will be negative and I'll get the results tonight. If that goes wrong, then everything is canceled. So but they sort of guarantee 95% of the time that the results will come in. And of course, I hope they're negative. I think so, because I've been isolated. Now I have to wait 12 hours for my results. The next thing is tomorrow here at Frankfurt Airport, I will have to show my negative COVID test. It has to be a PCR test, and I have to show the results before I board the plane. I read that it's before you board, so I don't know exactly where they're going to ask for it, but I'll film it. Good morning, hoppers. It's the next day. That's where we stayed. That's where the hotel, there are 2 hotels right there, and the airport is right there. Look, right here. Okay, now we're going towards our plane. Just a little concern. Iberia normally leaves from Terminal 2, and on my boarding pass it says Terminal 2, but I think, at least the last I knew, was that all flights were leaving from Terminal 1, so we have to make sure what's going on there. This is the long distance train station. So those are the test centers. There's a lot of people now. Try not to fall, Anna, try not to fall. That's how I broke my shoulder. So we're going to Terminal 1. We go to Terminal 1 because all flights were leaving from Terminal 1. And on the screen we'll see if the flight that was supposed to leave from Terminal 2 is leaving from Terminal 1. There's the screen, and I was right. Our flight leaves from Terminal 1, Concourse B. Concourse B to the left. Concourse B to the right. Okay, B to the right. Get your boarding pass ready. Did I forget anything? Yes. Don't forget to check in before your flight so you can get your boarding passes. That's what I forgot. Add that to the list. Alright, so let's check our flight. 11:40, Iberia 8707, going to Madrid, gate B2. B2 is to the left. B2 is upstairs. That's our flight. Okay, I just took my mask off for 2 minutes. A few things I have to tell you. One, my COVID test is negative, so I'm not going to give the bug to anybody, but somebody can give it to me. That's why you have to wear a mask. Another thing, on my boarding pass it said Terminal 2, but ignore that. You always have to look at the screens. That's always the last word. The screen is what is important, not what it says on your boarding pass necessarily. Because gates change, you see even the terminal is different because all flights are leaving from Terminal 1. So far nobody has asked for the test results yet. So I've gotten this far, I already went through security. I'm waiting at the gate. If somebody is positive or doesn't have a test, are they going to not let them on the plane? Okay, so now we're waiting to board. So we're gonna see. I'll tell you guys when they ask me for that certificate. Okay, so a little comment about the test centers. Right now they were packed. It's 11 o'clock more or less, and at 10 o'clock they were packed. And this is Monday morning. We took our test on Sunday, yesterday Sunday, at about 12 midday, and there were very few people. We didn't even have a line, we just went straight in. Back with the mask. So we're all boarding at the same time and we're gonna go on a bus. Huge line. To have passport and boarding pass ready. I won't be able to film it, so a lot of people to scan my boarding pass. Wow, a lot of stairs. Full bus, I'm sure. I mentioned to the stewardess it's impossible to do social distancing, and she said, well, yeah, but don't worry about it because the filters on the plane are really good and whatever. And then she says, and anyway, everybody on this plane is negative because everybody had to take a COVID test. She had a point. So let's take our masks off.
Recommendations. We inform you that at all times during the flight you must follow these measures. The use of protective masks that cover the nose and mouth is mandatory throughout the flight and until you leave the airport building on arrival, except for passengers under 6 years of age or up in your browser. TV shows, news, games and much more are waiting for you. We wish you a pleasant flight.
So in theory we're all negative, but they didn't ask for any certificate or anything, any proof of it. So we'll see what happens when we get to Madrid. Oh, and by the way, we have a delay and we do have a connecting flight, so let's see if we make it.
With the following Iberia Group flights: Iberia 3944, destination Tenerife North, Puerta K84. Iberia 3102, destination Lisbon, gate 816. Iberia 524, destination La Coruña, gate K74.
Dear passengers, welcome to Adolfo Madrid Barajas Airport Terminal 4. Please remain seated and with your seat fastened.
So we're arriving at T4K93. Okay, let's check for our next flight. It's 15:45 to A Coruña, Iberia 0524, gate K74. And let's just go to the gate. So you have to go that way, straight ahead. A lot more people today. Then when you arrive to Spain, you have to show your QR code from the health app that Spain has. And they will also take my temperature. The great thing about flying with the same airline is that now I don't have to change terminals. I just have to go down a few gates and my plane is there of my second flight. So there are definitely a lot more people this time. There's a sense of calmness, I think, because everybody had to take their tests. Now, nobody asked for it though. Nobody asked me for a confirmation of if I was negative or not. And if you want to watch how I change terminals here, I have 2 recent videos. So now I'm ready for my flight from Madrid to A Coruña. See all these things you have to do ahead of time? There's our next gate, K74, and we're boarding by rows. Scan my boarding pass and showed ID. They didn't ask for the health code of Spain. I don't know. Maybe it's because we didn't have to change terminals, but still, what did they ask for it? People are honest. Yeah, sure.
Bienvenidos a La Coruña, por favor mantengan sus cinturones de seguridad abrochados hasta que se apague la señal luminosa y permanezcan sentados hasta recibir instrucciones.
We will disembark by road. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Exit. Salida. Interesting image here, all empty. And once I get to A Coruña, I am going to be isolated for a few days. I don't want to be in contact with anybody. Although I have a negative COVID result, I don't know if I caught anything at the airport or on the plane, so I want to keep away from people to protect myself and to protect others. Okay, so then I'm in Spain, 10 days isolated, doing things around the house. So then I'm ready to go back to Germany, and I have a flight from A Coruña to Madrid. And when I get to Frankfurt, I have to go straight home. I have to be isolated for 5 days. Then I have the option of coming back to the airport and taking a free COVID test. You have to show your boarding pass and you have 10 days to do this. Or you can just stay home for those 10 days, but you have to be isolated for 5 days when you arrive to Germany if you've been in a high-risk country or area. So when I get home to Germany, I'm going straight home and I'll be eating from the freezer. If in those 5 days you have any symptoms, then call the doctor immediately. Okay, so that's it. Just a few little things. It's exhausting, it really is. Plus all the nervousness of, you know, did I disinfect this? Did I touch something that could be contaminated? You have to be really careful. So thanks a lot to Hoppers for watching this video. I hope it helped you guys. You see all the things you have to do before you fly. I'm surprised that they didn't ask for the QR codes and for everything we prepared for, right? But that's just something you have to do, because if they do ask you and you don't have it, you will be fined. So make sure you follow everything I said. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the return back to Germany. See how that goes. Bye. Please stay safe.